cross over 60th, you will pay a hefty toll. People driving a car will have to pay $15. The toll will be enforced between 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. weekdays and 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on the weekends. After 9 p.m., all drivers get a 75% discount, paying $3.50. People who drive through the four tunnels, Holland, Lincoln, Queens, or Brooklyn Battery will get a $5 credit during the day, but not at night.
I drive in the city all the time, and to hear that I'm going to have to pay $15 just to get around is insane.
No.
Public employees such as teachers, transit workers, and first responders will have to pay the full rate. Also, no credits offered to people with medical appointments.
Congestion pricing impacting drivers across the tri-state area. New draft report lays out the details, including how much drivers will pay and when congestion pricing will take effect.
We certainly did not find a lot of love for this draft proposal while we were out here talking to drivers, even subway riders. And what we pointed out to them was these are scanners that have already been installed here at 60th and Broadway. So how it works, once you cross over 60th, you will pay a hefty toll. And as you can imagine, most drivers not happy about it.
I drive in the city all the time, and to hear that I'm going to have to pay $15 just to get around is insane.
No.
Drivers not at all pleased with new proposed details of the city's plans for congestion pricing, which will toll drivers who enter Manhattan's central business district south of 60th Street.
I don't think it's good. It's just another expense.
The draft report done by the 6-member panel of the Traffic Mobility Review Board reveals people driving a car will have to pay $15. The toll will be enforced between 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. weekdays and 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on the weekends. After 9 p.m., all drivers get a 75% discount, paying $3.50. People who drive through the four tunnels, Holland, Lincoln, Queens, or Brooklyn Battery will get a $5 credit during the day, but not at night. No discount for those taking bridges. And there will be a surcharge of $1.25 per taxi ride and $2.50 if you take a for-hire vehicle like Uber or Lyft.
How do we satisfy, in the first instance, the many, not the few? And for that, we really recognize that the many are the million-plus people who take mass transit into the CBD every day, and the relatively few, and at least in one category, are the 150,000 or so people who drive.
Public employees such as teachers, transit workers, and first responders will have to pay the full rate. Also, no credits offered to people with medical appointments.
Anyone that's driving into the city for luxury purposes or convenience, they need to pay whatever the price is. Those who are there for necessities, such as a medical treatment that is mandatory by a certain professional, we need to take that into account.
Advocates say congestion pricing is necessary to fund the MTA, encourage public transit, reduce traffic, and improve the environment.
It may be onerous in the beginning. Once people get used to it, it's going to make our city better, less polluted.
If they decrease the price of the subway, yes.
Praise to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakak Badash, and double honor to the apostles and others, great millstone, for teaching His truth that's gone all around the earth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, it's your brother Atazawan Bayath, and back with a quick lesson. All right, we saw that short clip, right, TikTok clip about what's going on, particularly in New York City, right, in Manhattan. And this has been coming for some time. You know, I've heard about this probably over the last year or so, all right? And essentially what this amounts to is taxing the people, okay, for having vehicles, all right, to drive into the city. Okay, and they're trying to get people to not use their vehicles, all right, and pump more money into the city by using mass transit. Okay, so I pulled this article up here. It's from NRDC, and this tells you what, because there was a term used in that clip, all right, that said congestive driving, really, or pricing. Okay, so we have a short article on this, and we'll read this article and get a few scriptures, okay, because we knew that the time for this devil to do his thing, it's coming in increments, and it's coming in a variety of different ways. You know, it's like pieces to a puzzle. All these pieces have to be on the board, if you will, and then eventually you get two pieces over here that fit together and two pieces over here that fit together, and so on and so on until the whole picture is put in place. All right. So Yahweh Shem Yahushai is allowing these devils, is put the spirit on them to continue to move forward with their agendas. Okay, and that is to have one set of people ruling over the masses of people on the earth. All right. So let's get into this article just a little bit. It says, what is congestion pricing? And it says fees charged for driving on busy city roads reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And that's part of the lie that they want to put out there, all right, to act like, you somehow going to save the planet by not driving, okay? So going on, it says, in improving air quality while also generating sorely needed funding for the transit system that many people rely on for their daily commutes. And that's part of their reasoning, okay, is they want to force you, okay, basically infringe upon your so-called freedom of being able to drive your own car that you own, okay, and to tell you to take the mass transit system so that you can pump money into the system, okay. Going on, it says a simple solution that can cut traffic and air pollution and get us to work faster may seem pie in the sky, but it's out there and it's gaining traction in cities around the world. Congestion pricing refers to a fee levied on drivers that's intended to convince enough people to avoid hopping in their car at rush hour, or as the U.S. Department of Transportation frames it, it's, quote, a way of harnessing, the power of the market to reduce the waste associated with traffic congestion, end quote. The ultimate goal is to make the transportation system work better for everyone. And clean transportation advocates say it's most effective when it reinvests its profits gained into local public transit systems and other equitable means of getting around town. All right, so basically they're going to tax you for driving your own car and not using the public system, okay, in which, basically that's really controlling you, okay, because I figure that they think since anything south of 60th Street is where everything is, Madison Square Garden, Macy's Day Parade, what else? You got Lincoln Center, all of the arts buildings, the library, all those types of things are beneath 60th Street in Manhattan, okay? So let's go on just a little bit. It says congestion pricing proposals tend to inspire healthy debate. That was certainly true for New York City. Decades of discourse preceded the Big Apple's decision to move forward with its plan, which was followed by 2 years of delays courtesy of Trump administration, while transportation officials in New York have been advocating for similar measures going back to the 1970s. It was former Mayor Michael Bloomberg who launched a serious push to impose a user fee on vehicles entering Manhattan's busiest streets in 2007. Now you would have to ask yourself, for all of these big shots that live and work in the Manhattan area, right? All these expensive parts of town, 57th Street and so on, are they going to take public transportation? Hell no. Okay? But it's taxing the poor people who have to work. As you heard in the short piece, public workers, you're going to have to pay the price. So it's just unfair levying, all right, of taxes on the working class. Basically, that's what it is, okay? And they always do it under the guise as if they're doing something great for everybody else, all right? And this man is nothing but a devil, okay? All of these people that are in these high-ranking positions, and that Sambo they got for a mayor now. And that's why I'm glad I don't live in New York anymore, okay? who's just going to ride the wave and do what they tell them to do. Okay, so let's get to the first scripture. This is Revelations 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, and so this system is that beast that they're implementing all over the world. But like I said, in stages in different cities, different states, you can see all the things that they're doing. And in particular, the Department of Transportation in all of these states, you have, just for instance, you got a tollway, big tollway in the Chicagoland area. All right, I think in Indiana as well, northern part of Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. You got Dallas, all right, has a big tollway. You know, everything is going to be easy pass. You can't even use the streets, you know, or rather you would have to use the side streets in order to get around, because you can't use the freeway if you don't have an easy pass, all right, or they'll send you a ticket in the mail, right? This is controlling the people, okay? And it's part of the system, all right? And eventually, as we get to it, you know, this chip, all right, is going to be mandated, and you won't be able to do anything unless you have it, all right? Going on to verse 16, and it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, that MOTB, in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, right? So you can't buy or sell. You can't buy your way onto the freeway, all right, or the expressway, okay? You can't come into the city unless what? There's some electronic device somewhere on your persons, all right, to where they could charge you a fee, okay? This is incremental, okay? It starts out slowly and eventually it's going to turn into something else. Verse 17 is that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast and the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, this system, okay, that bar scan, that barcode, okay. Let's go over here to 2nd Ezra 15. We're jumping right here at verse 12, and it reads, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. Okay, and that Egypt, modern day Egypt, okay, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, and the Lord is going to hit this place with all types of plagues. Okay, as before, as one of the other scriptures in the Apocrypha says. Okay. And the foundation is going to be shaken, right? Verse 13, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blast and hail and with a fearful constellation. And then on some level, you could look at this thing and say, you know, that foundation and those that are working, you know, all the things that you've done to build up your so-called equity, your so-called wealth, will mean nothing, okay? Because this devil is going to tell you that it means nothing unless you take part of his system, all right? Verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? And it's going to break out into violence, okay? Because people are going to get fed up and sick of it. Even those who are not in the truth, just worldly people, are going to get tired of the system. All right? Now let's jump over here. Let's see. 2nd Ezra 16, and let's go down to verse 8. It reads, the mighty Lord sending the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away. Again, being mentioned are these plagues, right, that the Lord was sending, the destruction, missiles, right, the chariots, all right, when this thing gets to that point. But all these other little plagues that are going to plague the people, all right, that the Lord is going to send, okay, this MOTB, okay. Verse 9, a fire shall come from, it's like a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence, right? You know, the Lord is omnipotent, right? All power. Okay, and he can bring these calamities and plagues upon the earth, all right, nobody can stop them. Verse 12, the earth quaketh in the foundation thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth the sharp, and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, ultimately those nuclear warheads and missiles will fly, all right? And that strong hand is Yahweh Shai, okay? Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. You see that? So destruction is on its way. This man thinks that he's going to be able to control all beings on the earth. Okay, but particularly here in Babylon the Great, they are setting up their system to control the masses of the people, to take away your freedoms, to take away your rights as they were, right? Like they try to tell you this is home of the free and land of the brave and all this other stuff. No, not when they're controlling you, okay? Verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. All right. For as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that are sent shall be upon earth shall not return again. Right. The Lord is going to send those plagues, and he's not going to not bring them. Okay, he's not going to change his mind. Okay, all right. So these things are bound to happen. It's prophetically written, and it's going to come to pass. All right. Trouble is on the way. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Let's go up here to 2nd Esdras 15 and 14. All right, we'll go back up, and let's see here. We'll start right there, 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword of destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, which we've already read. Now we'll go on to verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay, and this is giving you somewhat of a glimpse of how they're going to control the people. All right, getting back to, I'm going to stop right there. We'll get to this other part here known as the 15-minute city. All right, you can find this out there on the web, and this is on Wikipedia. And it says a 15-minute city is an urban planning concept in which most, daily necessities and services such as work, shopping, education, healthcare, and leisure can be easily reached by a 15-minute walk, right? And that's what they're really trying to set up. If you don't belong in that part of town, which, for example, in Manhattan, beneath 60th Street, because you don't live there, right? It's expensive to live in Manhattan to begin with, okay? But they're going to keep you out of it, all right? they're creating that 15-minute city right there in Manhattan. All right, let's go on, and it reads, can be easily reached by a 15-minute walk, bike ride, or public transit ride for any point in the city. This approach aims to reduce car dependency, promote healthy and sustainable living, and improve well-being and quality of life for city dwellers, which is nothing but a bunch of bullshit. You know, they don't care about you. See, but they have to sell it to you as if they're really thinking about you and they're thinking about the planet. No, they're thinking about controlling you. Okay? Implementing the 15-minute city concept requires a multiple disciplinary approach involving what? Transportation planning. That's the first thing. We're going to take away your liberty and your freedom to drive. And we're going to give it to you and make you believe that it is a good thing. Okay? Urban design and policy making to create well-designed public spaces, pedestrian-friendly streets, and that's why you see in all the streets throughout the cities where they've blocked the streets off and they've set these big concrete plant pots all over the place. They painted in lanes for bikes. Okay, it's all to, and they've narrowed the streets. It's all to control you. It's all to get rid of it's to discourage you from driving your vehicle and having the freedom that you have. Okay. Going on, it says, this change in lifestyle may include remote working, which that's another part of it. People are working from home, all right? You see that ever since they did what they did, right, 3 years ago, so that most people work from home now. That's a way to control you. They basically made you fall in love with being imprisoned in your own house or your apartment. Okay? Which reduces daily commuting and is supported by the recent widespread availability of information and communications technology. The concept has been described as, quote, return to a local way of life. Whose local way of life? Okay? But there you can go, that's just a little bit of it. You can read about the 15-minute cities. All right, if you don't know anything about it, you know, we've been speaking on this for the last, 2-3 years, but in case someone has not heard of it, that's what you're witnessing. All right, when you see what's going on with all of the tollways and the bike lanes and why they cut one street off or they rerouted it. It used to go east, now it goes west. Okay, all these different things, okay, especially for those that are in the urban areas. Okay, they're going to control you in the city and tell you where you can and cannot go and when you can do it. All right. So let's see here. I think pretty much that's all I wanted to get on that. You know, just to shine a light on it again, okay? Because we're getting closer and closer to that time, all right, where these little increments will lead up to ultimately verse 16. And it causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, all right? And that no man might buy and sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, they got to put all these other pieces in place, okay, so that they can ultimately have control over your life, your money, your work, all right, how you travel, okay, and what you own, okay, and how they're going to place all these restrictions on you, okay. So with that, in the lesson right there, Lord willing, you know, you get something out of it, okay, and keep your head on the swivel and keep your ear, all right, to the ground, all right, to the prophets of the Lord who are teaching and telling you to beware of these things. Keep your eye on the news and the prophecies of this book, all right, known as the Holy Bible. All right, giving all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. All right, double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone once again. And I'll see you all again real soon with another lesson, Lord willing. Shalom.